This truck I'm driving is Phillips. It still smells like him. You feel like you're riding with him to a degree, and it's kind of good for me. So that's why I drive his truck a little bit. There's still times I ask myself why I'm getting in front of these kids, but then I kind of realize it's kind of Philip who's getting in front of them. I just happen to be the messenger. I've been calling these speeches when I go out to schools Philip's legacy, and challenging kids from 14 to 22. What legacy are you leaving? And I stand up here real proud of the legacy Philip left.
Philip Lutzenkirchen's legacy isn't measured by a field, although he shined there. No tight end in Auburn history caught more touchdowns.
He's got Lutzenkirchen, touchdown Auburn!
Or owned the locker room with more laughter.
Lutz was the smile and heart of the locker room. He always joked, had fun when it was time to, and when it was serious, he was serious.
He was a freshman, and the older guys looked up to him. He just had that special, it factor that really drew players to him.
Lutz helped lead Auburn to the national title in 2010 before a hip injury ended his career 2 years later. This past June, he was spending the weekend with friends in rural Georgia when the news broke.
Former Auburn football player is dead after a crash that also killed a UGA student.
And it was the most pointed conversation. He said, I'm the coroner of Troup County, and Philip was involved in a crash last night, and he was killed. So I just remembered saying, Philip's dead, Philip's dead. And one of the girls screamed at the top of their lungs, and Mary fell to her knees. And
worst day of our life. But we were together. There'll always be a hole in our heart. Empty sometimes, feel empty.
Philip Lutzenkirchen was 23 years old. More than 3,000 came to the memorial service at his old high school.
He'll be remembered as one of the best players to ever put on an Auburn jersey, no doubt. He respected his teammates, and he respected his coaches, and because of that, they both loved him. Philip, we love you, and we're going to miss you, and we can't wait to see you in heaven. War Eagle.
5 weeks later, the family learned that Philip and the driver involved in the crash were both legally drunk, and neither wore a seatbelt.
because if you treat it respectfully,
From that knowledge
it's not bad.
came a message.
You guys are at an age, though, temptations, been drinking. Who can do shots? Who can drink? You got to look out for one another. Philip and his friends that day didn't look out for one another, and it cost them their lives.
As part of the foundation that bears his son's number, 43, and nickname, Lutzy, Mike has given more than 30 speeches already, but none more personal than this one, to his son's old team.
This isn't the normal talk I've been going out and giving because of who you guys are and what you mean to me and my family. I know all you guys realize this is an absolute privilege to be in this hotel room tonight and putting on that uniform tomorrow. Just like life is a privilege, it's not a right. And Philip lost that privilege because of some decisions he made on the last day. The message is clear. Let people learn from his decision-making those last 24 hours. His blood alcohol content level was off the charts. And people are telling me Mike can't be accurate. I don't dispute what it was because it doesn't bring him back. He drank too much that day, and they didn't wear seatbelts. And I challenge kids pretty hard with those lessons. And I'll tell you what is so painful is when you've got to read an accident report and you see a vehicle and the path that it took where it came to a rest, and 15 feet from that vehicle is a stick figure with the name Philip Lutzenkirchen on it. There's so many wonderful things ahead of you guys if you make right decisions. I would love to see you emulate my son for 23 years of his life. And if you emulate him, I'm going to arrogantly tell you, you're going to be one hell of a man. And avoid what I shared with you during the last 24 hours of Philip's life so that you can be that great man that's inside of you to be. Thanks.
Everybody understood because it was like that could have been our father up there talking to the team. So it was that real moment that set in. We're just gonna let them know that we appreciate them and we love them.
The kids got up to come and shake my hand and give me a hug. A couple said, "It's okay back." This was real. One of theirs was gone, so yeah, it was pretty touching. It was emotional, but it's part of the healing process.